let's talk about the difference between what's legal and what's right. And you know what? We're not going to start with some dry textbook definition. Nope. We're diving straight into a crisis, a moment of absolute panic that, I'm not kidding, changed the business world forever. Okay, so picture this. The year is 1982. Tylenol? It's the go-to pain reliever in America. I mean, it's in everyone's medicine cabinet. It's a staple. And then, overnight, it turns into an instrument of death. Seriously, reports start flooding in. People are dying after taking Tylenol capsules. The public is, understandably, terrified. Think about it. A product you have in your own home has just become a deadly poison. And just look at how fast all of this happened. It's insane. On September 29th, you get the first tragic reports. Just 6 days later, boom, October 5th, Johnson Johnson makes this absolutely monumental decision. And get this, by November, less than 2 months from the start of the crisis, they're already back on the shelves with a totally new take on safety. The speed here is just, wow, it's so key to understanding the immense pressure they were under. All right, so that choice, that brings us right to the heart of our story today. Because this wasn't just about damage control, it was about a company defining its very soul when faced with what seemed like an impossible situation. So I want you to really put yourself in their shoes for a second. The crisis, remember, it's just in Chicago. The law? It doesn't say you have to pull every single bottle off every shelf in the entire country. Not at all. But doing that, well, that's going to cost you hundreds of millions of dollars, and it could totally tank your brand's reputation forever. So, what do you do? And this right here really shows you the massive gap between what they had to do and what they chose to do. On one side, you've got the legal minimum, basically some limited action just in the local area. But then you look at what Johnson Johnson did, a voluntary nationwide recall of 31 million bottles. They didn't just follow the law, they blew past it, putting public safety way ahead of their profits. And in doing so, they basically set a whole new standard for how to handle a crisis. So yeah, that decision by Johnson Johnson, it gives us the perfect real-world launchpad to talk about what we actually mean when we say business ethics. Okay, so here's the crucial thing to get. Ethics. It's not just about following the rules. See, laws tell you the bare minimum you have to do to stay out of trouble. But ethics, that's about your moral compass. It's about integrity, it's about fairness, and it's about feeling a real responsibility to other people, even when nobody's looking over your shoulder. And this really breaks it down nicely. At its core, real business ethics is built on these kinds of pillars. You've got honesty in how you talk to people, transparency in how you operate, and just plain fairness to everyone involved, your customers, your employees, everybody. Johnson Johnson's response? It ticked all these boxes, and that built a foundation of trust that turned out to be absolutely priceless. And this is probably the most important takeaway of all. Just because something is legal doesn't mean it's ethical. A company can follow every single law, check every box, and still be completely unethical. They can still cause harm, break trust, you name it. You gotta remember, the law is the floor, it's not the ceiling. Okay, so J&J made the ethical call, but man, was it an expensive one. So what happened next? What was the result? Well, let's talk about the long-term payoff, because this is where the story gets really interesting. It's a chain reaction, really. By putting people first, they showed the entire world what they were made of. That single move, putting public trust above everything, led straight to earning back customer loyalty. And get this, within a year, Tylenol had regained most of its market share. They dodged a total reputational collapse and proved, hey, you actually can balance making money with doing the right thing for society. Oh yeah. That recall cost them an absolute fortune in the short term, no question. But that investment in their principles, it paid off for decades to come. They built up this massive reservoir of public trust that was, let's be honest, priceless. It's the ultimate proof that being ethical isn't just some feel-good thing, it's actually good for business. So when you boil it all down, this whole case study just perfectly lays out that fundamental tension that's always at the heart of business, right? That constant tug of war between profit and principle. Look, if you remember just one thing from all of this, let it be this simple idea right here. The Tylenol case is the ultimate proof that real integrity, it's about what you do when no one's making you do it. It's about choosing the harder right over the easier wrong every single time. So, I'm going to leave you with this question to chew on. The Tylenol crisis? Yeah, it happened decades ago, but this whole dilemma is more relevant today than ever before. So think about it. When you look at the companies you deal with every single day, where do you see them drawing that line between profit and principle? And maybe more importantly, where do you think that line should be?